Dun 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 dun. I knew a man, his name was Alex. We found him dying on the ground. Our families were all killed by Death Adder, and violent revenge is the weapon we found. Did you ever know the way I played you in arcades as a child? Did you ever know the way they adapted you for the Mega Drive? With monster drumsticks and elf thieves get kicks, and swordplay and sorcery and dragons and lethal attacks. Dunna, with a golden axe. Dunna, with a golden axe. Dunna, with a golden axe. Dunna. Let's talk about golden axe.
Whoa. Oh man, best intro to a podcast ever goes to Rob.
That was a bit special.
That was golden axe. Oh yeah, I knew exactly what you were doing as soon as you started that. Yeah. So listeners, we didn't even know he was going to do that.
So I think we actually have. We should probably go on and introduce ourselves first.
I don't need to know.
They know who we are now, don't they?
Well,
do they?
Do they?
I'm Rob. I'm your host for today, and around me I have my Warriors 3.
Oh.
Keith the Dashing.
Oh, thanks, Rob. Hello, everyone.
Adrian the Brave.
Oh, I've never been called Brave before.
And Dylan the Grim.
Oh, yeah. That's about right. Yeah. Mine was the only one that fits.
And today we're talking about, this doesn't actually happen that often, I think, but we're talking about a game that I'm pretty sure, going around the circle, all four of us are very familiar with.
Oh, definitely.
Kind of grew up with it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, big fan.
Just kind of, did everyone play it in the arcade, or was it all Mega Drive?
I definitely played it in Mega Drive first, and probably found it in the arcade later on.
Me, Amiga for me. Played on the Amiga.
See, I had it on Master System.
Ooh.
But, it was a pretty good version. And I borrowed that Amiga version of you, I think, as well. Because I remember thinking, this is so much better than my Master System version.
It's really good.
I don't think I've seen the Amiga version.
They did a lot of Sega conversions to
on par
Amiga.
with the Mega Drive one?
I've played the Mega Drive since, and I think it's pretty much close.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got everything's in there. Because I know, like, the Master System, you can only be Axe Battler, can't you?
Garth, I just call him, yeah.
See, this is interesting, because we actually have a breadth of different experiences. For me, it was the arcade. I kind of remember it in the arcade, and then afterwards played it on the Mega Drive, I think a few years later. But I thought we could kind of go back to pre-Golden Axe, and if we want to go back through the winds of time. Whoosh, whoosh, that's what the winds of time sound like.
On a dragon, or just Winds of Time?
That's a good one. Yeah. Back to 1984, and a game called Kung Fu Master.
Yeah, Kung Fu Master. Hello.
Kung Fu Master is significant because
it's badass.
It's got fighting in it, maybe.
I believe it's the first ever side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah, I think it
Is that the one I was
Kung
playing
Fu.
at Play Expo?
Yeah,
it was. Wasn't
Me and
it?
Keith had the honor privilege of playing it the other day.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, you're on a dojo, going side to side.
Yep.
Have to kind of go up 5 flights and
Convert it to NES.
Yeah, you've got that's why I played it on the Famicom, and you've got kind of a good range of moves. You can kind of duck, kick, you can do a sweep kick, you can like kick, punch, jump, kick, do all that kind of stuff. And that was the first ever side-scrolling beat 'em up, made by a guy called Takashi Nishiyama. Anyone?
Your Japanese pronunciation is much better than all of ours. Yeah. Congrats.
Anyone want to know why Takashi Nishiyama is famous or what he went on to do? According to my notes, he actually oversaw the first Street Fighter game.
Boom.
That's not a very good game, though, is it? The first Street Fighter.
No.
Yeah,
but
still,
But even more significant, went on to run SNK's game development division, including the creation of the Neo Geo arcade board and basically all their fighting games.
Wowza.
Wow.
So
Big hitter. Big hitter. We need to know more about Neo Geo stuff, Adrian.
Ask my buddy.
Yeah.
Anthony!
Anyway, that's kind of fast forward a couple of years later to a game called Renegade.
Yep.
Renegade Master. So Kung Fu Master and Renegade Master.
Renegade, yeah, know
Renegade.
it.
Yeah.
Was this
Vigilante one.
Was it released on a Master System at all?
Oh, wait, I think it was. Never played it though.
Anyone want to guess
Feeling that's where I know it from.
why Renegade is so significant in gaming history?
Was that a Sega game?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think
know.
it was basically an arcade game.
Because it was a 2-player beat 'em up game.
That's
The side-scrolling
I think you
beat 'em
could play 2-player on Kung Fu Master.
I don't think you could be on screen at the
they're
same
one after
time.
the other.
Oh, that was it. Yeah,
Kung Fu Master
yeah,
is one
was
after the
you
other.
take turns. Yeah.
No, that would come a little bit later, but it was the first game to have a 4-dimensional control system. So you could go up and down,
Yes.
side to side.
yeah.
And also, enemies required multiple hits.
Oh, I thought that accolade went to Cheetah Man.
Yeah, Cheetah Man.
Cheetah.
Cheetah Men, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the year after that, we have a game that was even more influential. A game that I'm sure everyone has heard of, even if we haven't played. I realized in research for this, I've never played it, even though everyone's heard of it. Double Dragon.
I was going to say Double Dragon.
You never played
'cause
Double
that's
Dragon?
The one, that's the one with the 2-player. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Double
I'm
Dragon.
thinking one day Double Dragon podcast. What do you reckon, guys?
Oh, God, yeah. Do it. And how they ruined that franchise. Anyway, that's another day.
But, yeah, also very important. It's kind of the first modern beat 'em up. Did I just say it was Renegade? But it was really Double Dragon, because Renegade takes place on one screen, whereas Double Dragon is side-scrolling.
Yes.
Also 2-player cooperative play, and the ability to take an enemy's weapon.
And you can play as Billy or Jimmy.
Billy
or Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy. And then you have to face off at the end.
Quick side note:
Spoiler
Renegade.
Spoiler alert, sorry.
Renegade was by Taito,
Oh, title.
and it did come out on the Master System.
Ah.
I just had to check that. So
Going to dig out my Master System later. I know.
So, Double Dragon, massive success in the arcades, hugely influential game. Everyone decides that they want to make a kind of their own Double Dragon game. Yeah. And fast forward 2 years later, we come to 1989, the Annus Mirabilis for side-scrolling beat-em-ups. You have 3 games that basically set the tone for every side-scrolling beat-em-up that will come afterwards, all by a different company. Anyone want to take a guess at what those games were? All arcade games?
So Golden Axe?
Golden Axe.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Final Fight.
Yep.
Final Fight, yeah.
Golden Axe came out in May, Final Fight came out in December, and there was one other one.
89.
Sega.
Konami game.
Is it Turtles?
Turtles?
Yep.
No?
Hey.
Yeah, Turtles. Basically, those 3 between them. You have Golden Axe is the kind of old-timey one. Final Fight is the street one that influences Streets of Rage.
And
All those
Turtle
kind of
one
games.
Is if you like Turtles, yeah.
Well, Turtles kind of sets the tone for, I think we've spoken about this before, all the 4-player Konami
Oh yeah,
beat-em-ups.
definitely. Yeah.
So anyway, going on to the actual Golden Axe game, as I say, came out in May. I think it might have actually been the first of those 3.
Okay.
What a free, when you think about it, what a great free games, aren't they?
Well,
Great
yeah.
year.
How influential
Great year.
as well.
Absolutely. I think that's kind of the thing with any kind of culture. It kind of goes and fits and starts. So anyway, Golden Axe, as I say, came out first as an arcade game, was made on the Sega AM1. The Sega System 16. 16-bit arcade board released by Sega in 1985, before it was superseded by the Sega System 24 in 1988. Anyone want to guess what other games the Sega AM1 was used for?
The M1 team, you mean? Or...
Well, it might have been the
Sega
name
System 16.
Oh, yeah, the
System
Sega
16.
the Sega System 16. Ooh. Come on, Keith.
One. One other very famous game from around then.
Ooh.
It wouldn't have been anything with scaling.
No, that's what I mean. I'm trying to. But they're
So
the
it's
ones
something
that
like
always jump out to my head.
Rise.
Oh, Altered
Oh, yeah,
Beast.
Altered
of
Beast.
course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Altered Beast was the other one, and a game called Dynamite Ducks. Which
Oh, yeah, Dynamite Ducks. Good game, that.
I know of it. Yeah.
No, the Master System conversion was good.
This was
I
kind
prefer
of
TNT Swans.
Oh, stop it.
this is basically one of 2 of Sega's main arcade boards in the second half of the 80s. The other one being the Super Scaler series.
Yeah, that's the one.
Came out also in 1985, used for racing games like
Hang on, Outrun.
Hang on, Keith. Hang on.
Afterburner, Power Drift.
Space Harrier.
Hang On, Outrun, and Space Harrier. Yeah.
We know our Sega arcade
We know our
games.
super scalar games. Yeah.
But moving on to Golden Axe, I get onto the plot for Golden Axe, set in a place called Uria. And the characters are, I think we said one of them earlier,
Axe Battler.
Is it Mr.
Axe Battler.
Who
Is that
does
correct?
not carry an axe?
Axe Battler the Barbarian.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
Keith,
called
if you were
something
called,
else.
if you were called Axe Battler, you'd be annoyed, wouldn't you? You purposely wouldn't carry an axe just because he'd be pigeonholed.
He's called something else in the Master System version.
Oh, is he?
Something with a T or something. Tariq.
Axe Battler.
Axe Battler.
Tariq. I think he's called
Takes on
Tariq.
high taxes.
Yeah, Axe Battler, Death Adder killed his mother and he uses a broadsword.
Yes.
Other characters?
Gilius Thunderhead.
Correct. Gilius
yes.
Thunderhead the dwarf. And Death Adder killed his twin brother and he carries an axe around. Maybe it's Axe Battler's axe, who knows?
Maybe.
He just had to give him a lend, didn't he?
Is it a golden axe, though?
We're going to get onto
Ah,
that.
way.
Oh.
Anyone else want to get the last one, or shall I?
No, say it.
Tyrus Flare.
Correct. Tyrus Flare the Amazon, who has her own Wikipedia page.
What?
Apparently
Okay.
so. Death Adder killed both her parents and she carries a longsword. Interesting, really, because Tyrus Flare, look kind of her character, is basically fast forward Streets of Rage. Like Blaze is basically Tyrus Flare in streetwear.
Yep.
True.
Do you reckon that if Blaze went on Ancestry.com, she'd find out that she was... she has her blood in
I don't think they had Ancestry.com in Uria.
Before you guys continue, I would hasten to add there are other DNA companies and services out there.
There are.
Do you work for any of them?
No, which is why I'm trying to obviously downplay the whole Ancestry.com thing. Sorry, done it again.
And obviously the game starts and you find out from your wounded friend Alex that Death Adder... is Death Adder called Death Adder because he's like a snake, like a death adder, or is it because he adds death?
I think he
Maybe
adds
it's both.
death. He adds death. Because I've obviously faced off against him a few times, and he's just, it's a big old brute, isn't he, basically?
He is.
So he's not really an adder
We
of
never
any
see
kind.
his face. So
I think
he
he's
might have
like
like a snake head.
Like
He's
a
a bit like
Voldemort,
Vega.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Vega / Cristiano Ronaldo. Anyway, carry on.
He is a big old brute. We actually have stats for each of the characters, which I'm
Ooh.
going to
Oh, go
get
on.
into later on. But Death Adder is apparently 8'2" and 667 pounds.
Whoa.
I mean, he's a big guy. I mean, I think
Yeah.
even Big Daddy would struggle
He
there.
would, yeah.
How about Andre the Giant? That'd be a good fight, wouldn't it?
Again, I think Andre John would also struggle.
Yeah, I think even Rocky might struggle against that
Rocky can
height
defeat
disadvantage.
all man.
Rocky will just let Death Adder get tired and then just let him fall down.
Good. It's not suicide. It's strategy. Keep punching me. It'd work. Tire him out, wouldn't he?
So anyway, Alex tells you that Death Adder is holding the king and princess of Uria captive in the castle. And, this is literally after you kind of see him limping along, and some dude just runs up to him with a massive, big spike club and just starts wailing on him.
That's out of order.
Yeah.
Fair point, yeah.
Hey, you, stop! And basically, Death Adder has also found the Golden Axe, which is Uria's magical emblem.
Yeah.
And he will destroy it if the people don't accept him as ruler.
People won't accept it.
Wait, so if he's not accepted, he will destroy the axe.
And presumably kill the royal family.
But surely having the axe would be cool to be the ruler, right?
Well,
He wants acceptance from the people. I think that's what he wants. He wants to be voted in as opposed to.
And to destroy
Kill
the
him.
axe, you have to chuck it into Mordor or something, into Mount Doom or something.
Yeah, he needs to cross franchise to get rid of it.
anyway, this came out obviously in the late 80s. Anyone want to guess what the cultural influences for this would have been?
Conan.
Correct, Conan. Also, any other kind of suggestions
Die Hard.
made in cinema?
Just kidding.
Conan was the main one, but also...
Red Sonja.
Yes. And Beastmaster, I think. Is probably
Beastmaster OVS. Yeah.
apparently, lead developer of the game, Makoto Uchida, really liked action movies, especially Conan, and actually was legit a key influence. Also, I suspect that Heavy Metal magazine, if anyone's familiar with that.
Yeah.
Really influential 70s, 80s Euro magazine, Euro fancy sci-fi stories, with really kind of badass sci-fi fancy art.
Well, the feature film of that was early 80s, wasn't it?
No, I think maybe it came out in the 80s. Also, if anyone's seen the South Park episode where Kenny's getting high on a cat pee, that's where he goes
Have you not
to,
seen that one? The cheesing.
No, my face
so
kind of says
funny.
it all.
It's so funny. You have to watch it.
Kenny basically gets transported to this world that's based on the heavy metal film. It's hilarious.
He goes to fight in the bestiary in Niplopolis. It's so good. You have to see that one. It's really funny.
Okay.
Uchida basically came, other games he did Altered Beast, was in charge of that.
Okay.
Kind of finished Altered Beast, went straight onto this. And afterwards, the only other kind of main game he did afterwards was Wing War, if anyone remembers that from the arcades.
Yes, war spelt with an O, isn't it? Is it?
No.
No?
Wing War, WAR, it's like a dogfighting game.
Oh, do you know what? I'm thinking of a different game. On the Mega Drive, it was called, I don't know if it was I think it might have been in America, it was called Wings of War, WOR. And over here, it was called Gainug. It's
Gainug, Gainug.
Yeah,
Yes, I know
which is
Gainug.
it's a side-scrolling shooter.
You love
That's
them.
what I was thinking of. I do love them. Sorry, carry on.
I should probably point out when I say dogfighting game, it's not like the Michael Vick kind of dogfighting. I mean, like you're in planes.
Come on.
Yeah.
You went
Yeah.
there.
For a minute.
Rob went there.
You're basically in planes trying to shoot each other down.
We get Michael Vick's flipping lawyers on us now. No, we went there. Go
I'm
on,
pretty
carry on.
sure it's established as a fact.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyway, Uchida said, I'm kind of saying a quote I found online here. I had a feeling that arcade games should be competitive against the great hit console title Dragon Quest, which is created by Enix. Dragon Quest being kind of a Zelda-like RPG.
I've heard of it. I thought Adrian knew about it, but that's Sword Quest.
If it ain't got a link in
it. Oh, yeah. If it ain't got a link in it, you ain't, you know. You ain't
And therefore, I studied the world of magic and swords, combined this with the gameplay of Double Dragon, and finally came up with the concept of Golden Axe.
So basically ripped off loads of other games, and I came up with the thing of Golden Axe.
Well, Golden Axe actually did have a couple of kind of slight innovations. First game to feature weapons as kind of a general kind of thing in the genre. And also, basically the reason apparently they used weapons is it was to do with view. You had to make the sprites smaller than the enemies if they had a weapon, otherwise it would be kind of too easy. Which is why like all the other kind of characters are so much bigger.
Okay.
It's
Is that
to
why
do
Def
with-
Adder's like 8 foot then?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you get
All
like
of the bosses are massive, though. If in like
Yeah,
Golden
yeah.
Axe, you go like, and those guys, they're all like huge. So okay, I
yeah,
kind of get
it's to
that.
do with kind of like pixels and reach and that kind of thing on
Yeah.
screen.
Mm-hmm.
Gameplay, obviously, 1 or 2 players. You can hit people once or multiple times. You can kind of throw them, jump and hit, or there's obviously everyone has a charge attack.
Yes.
Yep.
And sorry, as I'm saying, if an enemy's on an animal, you can hit them off the animal and jump on.
They're weird looking animals, aren't they? Weird lizard things
are.
with fat heads.
Yeah,
There's a lizard thing, and there's like a dragon.
There's one,
thing.
wasn't there one they called like chicken leg?
yes, that's the
Chicken
one
leg.
like the green one where it hits people with a tail.
Yeah.
And
Would you like to have a pet chicken leg though?
it
And I
seems
think
like it'd be
it's
a lot
that one. I don't know
work
if
to eat.
you came across this, but I think that was actually originally an Altered Beast.
Oh.
Yes, I think so.
And they
Like,
brought it across for Golden Axe.
and there's like a blue dragon that can kind of breathe
Yeah.
fire on the ground, and the best of all, the pink dragon that shoots
fireballs. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
shoots Hadoukens.
I could never stay on them for long though.
No, they always used to whack you
Never
off.
stay on them long.
Yeah.
And obviously also magic is a big part of it.
Yes.
You can pick up magic vases or urns, I'm not really sure, from blue-clad elves, and can throw them up in the air, and it basically kind of like hits everything on screen.
I love the magic.
That's great.
And each character, one character's got more magic than the other, is that right? Or can power up more, is that right?
Yeah, Tyrus
Yeah.
Slayer I think has the most
She
magic.
can power hers up the highest. Yeah.
And obviously Streets of Rage took that with the missiles, didn't they, from the first one, right?
Absolutely, like
Yeah.
Yeah, although you didn't power that up, you just pressed the button.
Oh, yeah,
Streets of
true.
Rage basically 1 and 2 ripped off almost pretty much everything, and I love the Streets of Rage 2 especially, but there's almost nothing original in any of those games.
I think
at
we've
all.
stopped. I think we've stopped having a go at things for ripping off other things because
Also, it was
It's
another
standard
Sega game.
for
They're allowed to
everything.
rip their own stuff off.
yeah, but it's just standard.
allow it.
Like across any kind of entertainment thing. isn't
Yeah,
it?
there's nothing original.
There's nothing original. There's
There's
nothing truly
nothing
original
original.
anymore.
Well, there's no other gaming podcast, so we're quite original.
No, it's not. No, you're listening to the only gaming podcast.
It's gonna be our intro from now on.
The only gaming podcast.
No, man, you've got to sing our intro from now on. That's it.
Hey man, we're number 70 something in Malta, aren't we?
Every podcast, you've got to come up with a song.
Just wait until you hear what I've come up with for the Bowser podcast.
Oh, God. Not a Bowser podcast.
That's not going to be a Bowser
Wait,
episode.
You were gonna go there.
No.
Waluigi Part 2.
I don't think we can talk any more about Waluigi than we've already done.
Change the subject.
Change subject. Back on track. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back on
and
track.
obviously, if you kick the green elves, you get big meat drumsticks, and they restore your health. Anyway, what did people think of the games? Of the gamer?
I loved it.
Blindsided a bit, but
Yeah.
go on.
No, I loved it. I thought it was a brilliant game, and I just, I was playing it for hours. I think I did complete it with my brothers, and we just went through it and just played it again. And I can't remember if it's the first Golden Axe. But you can go different paths, can't you? It's got longevity, so you can do different levels, can't you, to get to the final bit? Or am I talking about another Golden Axe?
Might have been another one.
Different levels. You can kind of play like the high road or the low road.
Okay, yeah.
So
Unfortunately for me, the three games kind of blur into one for me, so I need to.
I'm sure Rob will come to that later.
Yeah. But I really like it. And do you know what? The first thing when I got my Wii, and I got the virtual console set up, the first thing I bought was Golden Axe 1, 2, and 3.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
In your face, Nintendo. You were like, the first thing I get
Yeah,
on
I'm
there
playing a Sega.
is a Sega title.
Well, to be fair, I had like Mario games as well, but proper games. But yeah, that was the first thing on the virtual
no, just
console. Yeah. And I loved it. And you often, and I remember playing it again. This probably about 10 years ago now on the Wii, but I don't know. It still was so fun, and just my wife liked it, and my kids loved it as well. It's just a nice pick up and fun game, isn't it? And I think the difficulty is perfect. I think it's not easy, but it's not ridiculously hard either.
But I think Adrian said it all. I don't know.
No, it's for me, like on the Mega Drive, Dylan will probably agree as well. Well, and you all had Mega Drives.
Yeah.
It's like a staple, wasn't it? Like a Mega Drive staple.
Yeah,
Everyone
kind of had to have it.
either
And
had
it was
it,
al-
or...
it was always on their mega
It was
game.
on Mega
The Super
Games.
Monaco Grand Prix in Collins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best game of those three.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, as time went on, it's not the best scrolling beat 'em up on the Mega Drive, but
It still stands up,
it
I
does
think.
still stand up. It's still fun to go back to, and like Aid was saying, it's really easy for anyone to just pick up and jump into.
Yeah, it's got really smooth gameplay. Apparently, like, the reason they didn't have 3 players is because game specs could only allow 6 moving characters on screen at
Okay.
Yeah,
one
there
time.
was always those kind of limitations, wasn't there? But
Which is why sometimes enemies will stand still until you've defeated everyone else on screen. Like, they'll wait on the right-hand side of the
I
screen.
thought it was just good manners. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they were
me
just
too.
being, it was etiquette back in those days, you know.
I'm just going to pick up on something that Adrian said there.
Oh,
Adrian just said the Golden Axe is better than the Super Monaco Grand Prix.
what?
Yeah.
Well, Mega Games 1.
That's a different podcast.
Those three games are
Golden
Mega
Axe
Games 1, aren't
versus
they? Is that
Monaco
right?
Grand Prix.
And I think World Cup Italia 90 is on Mega Games.
Yeah,
1.
let's just agree that anything on a cart with World Cup 90 is better than World Cup Italia 90.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can all agree on that.
We can all agree on that.
One thing I like, I love the graphics and the sound of this game. Like, number one,
the soundtrack's
absolute
fantastic.
great look. Like, I love the character selection screen with like the 3 of you on the outstretched palm
yes.
of a massive skeleton.
Yes,
It's
yes.
really metal.
That's awesome.
And like, in between levels, they show you this map, and like a quill writes the story in red ink and explains where you're going.
Or blood.
The quill
Yes.
thing, even on Master System, was bananas.
Can you say that word again, please?
No, I can't because we don't do swearing on
Yeah, no swearing.
on Arcade Attack
We're
podcast.
allowed one in each pod, really, aren't we?
We have to like kind of mask it slightly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. The enemies, I love the way they look as well. Great armor, weapon design, and all the levels just really atmospheric. Man, the giant turtle level, where you're literally on the back of a giant
yeah.
turtle,
Yeah, giant turtle, man.
is great. And I think there's one where you're flying in the back of
On
an
the back of an
immensely
eagle,
sized
isn't it?
eagle.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Love it.
Well, if you could start a transport company and you could use either a giant eagle or a big turtle.
But it's not even just the fact that you're flying on. There's like a whole village built on the back of this eagle.
Well, okay, where would you rather live then?
On the back of an eagle or back of a turtle.
Yeah.
Turtle.
Oh, the turtle, because the eagle will be going too fast, bro. Like, you get severe motion sickness.
It's true.
Well, look how fast the Earth is going, and
Oh, touche. Touche, Rob.
Yeah.
but yeah, like basically going to get onto the actual enemies. They all actually do have official stats. I think there might be
All of them. Even like your standard grunt.
Standard grunt.
Standard grunt number one.
they have they have names and they have stats, and
cool.
I think they might be in the manual, or I definitely found them somewhere. But the club guys, like the bald dudes of the clubs, are called Longmoan. They're 5'6", 164 pounds.
Okay. What's that in normal weight?
I don't know. I didn't write it down, but I guess
They're
I
quite
guess
light,
12
actually.
stone.
160 is only about...
Just
10
under
stone?
12.
10,
It's under
11
12 stone.
Oh, they're pretty light on their feet.
The women are called, they're all different names, but names like Storchanaya or Strobaya.
They sound like vodkas.
Yeah.
And they're 5 for £833. The skeletons are short, because obviously they have no skin. 5 for £2, £89. The big bald Hamadoos are called the Bad Brothers.
The bad.
Yeah, yep. I know them.
Yeah.
I know them
8
well.
for £3, £680.
Oof.
And like the the knight with a huge sword is called Bitter.
He's
Bitter.
pretty bitter, actually.
He's an Everton fan.
Hey.
Oh.
That's his choice of drink in the pub, I think. A pint of bitter, please.
Oh.
And he's 6'11", £271, according to this. But anyway, music. By a guy called Yu Takada. Man, it's so iconic, isn't it?
It is. It
Brilliant
is.
music. Brilliant music, brilliant soundtrack.
It really fits, and you can hear that influence of like Conan and stuff like that. Definitely.
Yeah, the first level, especially, is just so iconic.
Yeah. I can hear it in my head now.
Yeah. And as is the in-between level music, like with the quill, like do. I can't do it, but you know.
Oh
the-
yeah,
we know the one.
and the jolly music when the little elves come out.
Oh, you have to kick
And
them.
you have to try and kick them to get the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kick the elf.
And man, the sound, especially in the arcade, is great too. Screaming peasants and like cowardly screams of dying enemies when you kill them. And when you
Rob loves those sounds.
No, but this. Go on, carry on.
No,
I'm probably going
go
to
for
tread
it.
all over it. It's in the arcade. The sound effect of the enemies when they die. It was lifted from Rambo, wasn't it?
I didn't know that.
Did you not know
I think
this?
that is
No?
true, actually.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
it,
I don't know if it might be long moan, and I think that's partly where the name comes from. Because when they die, I'll try and find the sound effect to put it into the podcast. And it's like, oh,
It's not like the
and then-
Wilhelm scream, is it?
It might be,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's that.
but
like,
it was an actual film sample, and obviously when it was translated for the consoles,
Rambo.
didn't-
Yeah, Wilhelm scream is like this incredibly famous like sound effect that gets used in pretty much every film.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same one, but
Could be.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like frogs, the frogs, not many frogs go ribbit, but apparently that's what they use in Hollywood. So if you want a frog in Hollywood, they just get the same sound, even though only one type of frog goes ribbit. True story.
Interesting.
True story.
Yeah, and when you beat Death at it, he falls on his back and his massive axe flies up in the air and comes down on his chest, causing a fountain of blood to spew out everywhere.
that wasn't in the home version.
No, it wasn't the arcade
No way.
though.
No, it
Yeah.
definitely wasn't in the Master
No.
System
Just
version.
so metal. It's I love this game.
Hashtag metal.
So get on to the home console versions.
Woo!
First one is obviously
Mega Drive.
Mega Drive, yeah. Comes out December 1989, so only 7 months after the
yeah.
arcade.
Oh wow, yeah.
Cost £35. I think we can all agree a very good adaptation.
Yeah, it's
Good
all there,
value for
isn't
money.
it?
Good value for
Yeah.
money at the time. Because a lot of titles are like 45 quid. Well, getting on into midnight, early 90s, they definitely cranked it up to that. So 35 quid or an arcade in your, in your living room.
It was.
Brilliant.
I mean, look at. I don't know if it was 88 or 89. The Mega Drive port of Super Thunderblade, which is just awful.
Oh God, please don't talk about
So
that game.
yeah, so the fact that the Golden Axe was so close to the arcade was quite impressive.
Yeah, I mean, there are minor changes, like Alex isn't there at the beginning, there's no blood, 5 life bars instead of 3, but like the gameplay is pretty much identical.
Yeah.
And everything sounds very, very close.
Yep.
It was well reviewed when it came out. Mean Machines, I think a source we all respect, 91%. Magazine called Zero gave it 94%. Never heard of Zero.
I remember that magazine, yeah.
Okay, but largely within like the 92% range. Other ports, Adrian mentioned the Amiga.
Yeah, again, good.
Good port.
Good port.
Pretty much the Mega Drive version. But yeah,
I think so. I mean, I've played both, and again, they just blur into one for me. But yeah, I think it's very close.
they did a lot. Like there were a lot of Amiga Mega Drive ports, so they didn't try and port the arcade to Amiga.
like Desert Strike, for
they
example.
just went, okay, it's
Well-
on Mega Drive, let's try and get it to Amiga.
Funny enough, the Amiga actually was an arcade port, according to this research.
Hello.
And the PC Engine version was a Mega Drive port.
Woo! What?
Also came out. I'm just saying what it says here.
Woza. Then we have greatly underestimated the Amiga version, dude. We need to go back.
I haven't got an Amiga anymore. I need to get one.
Dude, we need to go back in time and we need to do this.
Back through the winds of time. There you go.
Another podcast.
Yeah, also came out in the Atari ST and
Master System.
and
Game Gear? Not Game Gear.
Oh, no Game Gear.
Yeah, it came out in the Master System, and I believe the character's name was Tarek.
Tarek, it was Tarek. They changed it for
Why
some
did they
reason.
change his name?
I don't know. Because he was on his own. He was on his
Yeah.
own, mate, because his mates were like...
Tarek the Lonely.
Yeah, Tarek the Lonely, because it was like, oh, dude, like, that's an 8-bit game. We don't want to be in that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You can do it
he
your own,
ended
mate.
So he ended up doing it alone. Yeah, poor guy. But
Yeah.
he did a decent job. I had a few things to say about that in a review on the site. Bit harsh, but, you know, but fair. But it's still fun. I gave about 60%.
I'd expect nothing less from Dylan the Grim.
I'm Dylan the, you know,
Yeah, not Dylan the positive.
Dylan the uber critical. I think that's what I'm going to be known as. Yeah. It was,
So,
you know, good game. Good game.
in case people don't pause it to go back and read it, can you give a summation?
I basically said that initially it looks really impressive. Like, the first couple of levels, they've put a lot of it, you know, effort into making it look like the Mega Drive version. The animation of Tarek is good when he like swings his sword and stuff. It's really impressive. But when he moves, it's a bit kind of too framey. But well, I don't know what you expect from a Master System. Later on, it kind of looks more lazy. All of the stages and that look more like Lego, and it kind of it gets a bit more lazy towards the end. But it still holds up as you know. But there were better beat 'em ups and things on the Master System.
Would it make you would it make you feel better if I told you there was a worse version out there than the Master System?
Oh yes, please, Rob.
Commodore 64 had a version, which despite getting 96% in Zap magazine,
Zap, yeah, we know
Yes.
Zap. Zap, zap.
yeah, you could, I guess I've seen the footage online. It's not good, obviously.
Does it not look anything like the Master System version then, or do I'd have to look at it, wouldn't I? Damn it!
It's the Commodore
Pause the
64.
podcast.
Stop.
Stop it.
So, but Dylan, when you were writing your review, did you almost have an axe to grind? It seems like.
I'll always give you that. But no, I mean, you know, the Master System version, it did entertain me back in the day. I did have to be a bit more critical of it for the site, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that it's at least better than the C64 version. But, you know.
And also, there was a sequel on the Master System, was there not?
Sort of. It's more of a
not
spin-off, isn't it?
Really. Golden Axe Warriors,
Yeah.
not really.
More of an
completely
RPG,
different
isn't it?
game.
An RPG
yeah.
that's actually really hard to get, and I've never played it, actually. So
So it's supposed to be a very good game.
it's
Yeah,
meant to be
It's
a
a
very
bit
good
of a Zelda
RPG.
clone, I think.
Yeah, so I've got written down here. Apparently it's one of the rarest Master System games, but Death Adder is still the villain. And you have to collect crystals, apparently.
Well, you got to collect something.
It got mixed reviews, and generally mixed reviews is a euphemism for bad reviews. Actually, according to this, they actually were very mixed. GamePro gave it a 5 out of 5. Joystick gave it 88%, but CVG 42% and Mean Machines 40%.
Did you make a note of why they gave it 40%?
'Cause it just wasn't very good.
If you groundbreaking.
I mean, look,
That's
you know,
actually pretty mixed. I mean, it's gone from 90% there to like 40 or what? Like,
I mean, look, if I kind of talk about a top-down RPG that's not very good, you already know what the issues are with it. Like, it's boring, confusing, kind of.
okay.
And there's
I have to dig
there's
out the old-
turtles.
Dig out the old retro pie and have a bit of a crack at that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Axe Battler, Legend of Golden Axe came out on the Game Gear.
Oh, okay.
Both these games in 1991. Also, like,
I
Total
missed that.
RPG.
Oh.
I've
Yeah, I
got,
didn't know about that one.
again, mixed reviews. Zero gave it 87%, Mean Machines gave it 39%.
Whoa.
What is with these
Strange
mixed
variation,
reviews,
yeah.
man? Who got paid off?
I think Death Adder was at the back of the reviews.
Yeah.
The good ones, at least. You better write a good review, or else.
But he couldn't get to everyone, obviously. So
No,
yeah.
he's slow, isn't he? You know, he can't get everywhere.
He's slow, man.
I didn't realise Death Adder was from the West Country.
Yeah. That's it. It's revealed today. He's finally.
But same year, we have the first genuine sequel to Golden Axe, which is
Golden Axe 2.
Golden Axe 2. Comes out on the Mega Drive, December 91 / January 92. Very similar to the first,
Sorry. It's the same game.
It's very similar.
the same game, the same characters, but the villain's some old evil creature called Dark Gould, or Gould, I'm not really sure. But it's another giant in massive armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, enemies are slightly different, the magic system is slightly different, was not as well received. Like, music is pretty bad.
I actually quite like the music,
compared to the first.
but it's not as good as the first. So I think it's a step down, and in terms of the game itself, it was just more of the same.
I've got like on my notes, ask Keith about data discs. Is there like a
Yes.
data disc version of
There is,
Golden
yeah,
Axe?
yeah. It was Golden Axe on one side, Golden Axe 2 on the other.
Ooh,
How
So-
about 3? Where's 3?
There's no on there.
there's not a third side on a record.
Why is there
It's
not a
not
third
that-
side on an LP?
Sure. I thought if you spun it around enough times, you got the third side.
Yeah, you play it backwards.
Yeah, again, Freddie mixed reviews. Mega, famously strict, gave it 92.
Oh.
It's the same game. Like, how can you not give it anything less than Golden Axe 1?
Well, I don't know. Apparently, like the general consensus was that the game mechanics aren't quite there. Megatech gave it 67%. Mean Machines gave it 69%. Julian Rignall, Mean Machines, says,
Legend.
and I'm quoting here, the gameplay is basically identical. The dinosaurs are all very similar. The music is worse. The baddies are killed using exactly the same tactics. The map layouts are surprisingly similar. And to cap it all, it's not even as challenging as the original. I finished it on my first go.
Oof.
Yeah, but
They reskinned.
They're not dinosaurs, they're dragons,
Golden
aren't
Axe
they?
1. Then they did it again for Golden Axe 3.
Well, you have to bear in mind this is the early 90s and dinosaurs were pretty big back then. This is before Game
I
of
think dinosaurs
Thrones.
are pretty big in general.
dragons are bigger.
Hey.
Oh, I get, yeah. Oh.
And then in the following year, 1992, we have the first arcade sequel, Golden Axe: Revenge of Death Adder.
Oh, this game is so good.
Came out on the Sega
good.
System 32 arcade board.
Me never played. Me want.
No.
No,
Yeah,
well, Rob's going to get onto it, but there's no home conversion.
What?
No, basically, this board came out in 1990. Also used for, anyone want to think of any early 90s Sega arcade games? Really early 90s?
In what style? What,
Yeah,
what genre?
A racing game?
Early night.
A racing game sequel.
Outrun 2?
Outrunners.
Outrunners.
And Sega Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, Sega Sonic.
Okay.
wasn't it? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Is it
and,
exactly the same sort of game then? Side-scrolling?
Oh, but it's just, I mean, it's 32-bit. It's a step up. It looks
Could have gone the
fantastic.
32X maybe.
Yeah.
it,
Should have been on the Saturn.
it looks a little bit like...
Keith has got an axe to grind about that one.
Yeah, basically, like the
Taking all
characters are
the puns
different. You've
today.
got Goa the Giant, who has Gilius Thunderhead riding on his
Yeah,
back.
he's riding on his back.
The axe
great.
battler type is called Stern the Barbarian.
Don't want to mess with him.
You got a female Minotaur called Dora the Kentoride.
Yeah, and she fights. She's
Minotaur.
got, you know, the big. I don't know what they call them now. You know, like the giant cotton bud in Gladiators. Do
Yeah, we know what you're talking
you know
about.
what I mean? Yeah, that. She fights with one of those.
The Pugilin.
Yeah.
Oh, like in
What's the-
Gladiators.
yeah, that's what I mean.
The,
What's-
the duel thing.
Yeah. What are those things called?
Yeah, the pugil sticks.
Pugil sticks. They just call them that.
Ready.
Yeah, she has a big one of those.
Have we just
And
done another
she's a-
Jessica Jennifer Simpson thing there? Pugil sticks.
Pugil sticks. Flugelhorn. What?
And
Everyone knows what we mean.
last character is called Little Tricks, an elf with a pitchfork.
Little
who's
Mix.
And
Yeah.
You had to.
Little Mix. Can you imagine a Little Mix size scoring a beat 'em up game? It'd be so bad, it'd be good, wouldn't it?
I will make that game.
and
Little Trick. Sorry, Rob. Little Trick.
and basically her magic involves, because they still have magic in this game, growing trees that can restore people's health. And this is the game where you get to choose paths. There's some bits, basically where you go like up the screen.
Yeah,
to
at
top
the
screen.
end of the level, you go, like into the screen.
Yes.
It's really cool
You're like
effects.
going up the screen, and once you get to the top, you can choose left or right.
Yeah.
And that will lead to different levels, and you can replay the game. And
Yeah, different
but it
parts.
was just an arcade.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
God for MAME.
graphics are more colourful, like
Oh,
a
the
little bit
graphics
more
are-
toward, if you remember Knights of the Round, kind of not as good as
I
that,
love that
but
game.
more in that realm, almost like SNES colours.
Yeah, but like I say, 32-bit, so it's a really good-looking 2D scrolling beat 'em up. And some of the I don't know if you've seen some of the effects for some of the magic. It's awesome. Like when the fire comes across, you see like the enemy's face, and it like burns all the skin off, and it's just this skull and the flames. It's
Keith,
really,
could-
really good, really good.
Could someone very clever in this day and age try and convert it to a Saturn, like reboot it as a Saturn game? Would it be possible?
I have no idea.
Are you clever enough to do that?
Am I clever enough?
Yeah.
No, I am not.
Someone, I don't. Do people still do Saturn homebrew games? Someone should do it.
No.
I
They
look,
should, shouldn't they?
there are some Saturn dev kits out there. You do it.
We're looking at you, Dylan.
Someone do it.
Someone do it.
Listeners.
It's unlikely to be
If you
anyone
have
in
a
this
Saturn
room.
dev kit at home, what's it called again? Return
Gold-
of Death Adder.
Is it Return or Revenge? Revenge, I think.
It is Revenge of
Revenge
Death
of
Adder.
Death
So he didn't
Adder.
die in the first game, is that what you're telling me?
He never dies, really.
All right.
Death Adder never
He's like
dies.
Voldemort, he's got Horcruxes.
It's like Cobra Kai.
You're not allowed to say his name.
Oh, sorry, yeah. He who can't be named.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, I think maybe this is a controversial opinion, maybe especially for Keith, but I thought like it was a bit overshadowed by Knights of the Round, which came out the year before, and I
You
think
love Knights of the Round.
I do
Rob.
love Knights of the Round.
Me and
It's
Rob
good.
one day pod on that, man, aren't we? We're gonna do
Absolutely.
a pod on Knights
Did you say
Around.
it came out the same year in the arcade?
Knights of the Round came out the year before,
Oh, okay.
in 91, so, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of, it feels less unique for me, like, you're losing that Golden Axe feel by this point. And then, the year afterwards, 1993, you have Golden Axe 3. Comes out on the Mega Drive in 1993, and, in Japan in 1993 and US in 1995.
Yeah, well, I don't think we ever got it.
Yeah.
Oh.
We only got like compilation thing.
Yeah, because I just
later.
downloaded it on the
Yeah.
Virtual Console, so I didn't realise it wasn't out back then, to be fair.
Again, like all new characters, Gilius Thunderhead appears in cutscenes, but everyone else is new. Like,
It's like a Panther Man, isn't there?
there's a demon
Man.
prince called Villian, and,
It looks like a big panther.
Would you prefer a Cheetah Man instead?
sorry, no, the villain is a demon prince called Demud Hellstrike, but he's basically like Death Adder.
Maybe it's his
And-
cousin or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a different spell method and some new moves, but graphics and sound are pretty bland.
Graphics are poor. I don't know if have you seen it? Have you
Yeah.
played it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the back, just no effort has gone into the backgrounds. It's really
They've just
poor,
gone, we can just
considering
whack
when
out,
it came out as well.
We can just whack out another Golden Axe game. Fetch me Golden Axe 2. Let me put some other graphics on top of it.
Change that yellow to green and the game's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But there was going to be one more arcade sequel.
Golden Axe
What?
4.
No, Golden Axe The Duel.
What?
Head-to-head beat 'em up where people fight for the Golden Axe.
Yeah.
You do, like, no original characters because they're all like descendants. You have Gilius Rockhead, who's Gilius Thunderhead's great-grandson, and Milan Flair, descendant of Tyrus Flair.
Milan.
Can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine? He'd be a fashion guru and he went to like Italy or something.
And, yeah, you can collect magic bottles to help you pull off special moves. Came out on the STV, arcade board,
Yeah.
which is basically almost identical to the Saturn.
Yep.
Some of the other games for it, Virtua Fighter Remix, Die Hard Arcade, and Final Fight Revenge.
You said it did, you said it all, does this game exist, Rob? Tell us.
Yeah, well, it exists on the Saturn.
Oh.
Oh, they did
Did
port it
the
to Saturn.
arcade game?
Yeah,
It was
came out
an
in the
arcade
arcade in
game,
94,
yeah.
Saturn in
Oh, I thought you
1995.
said
Yeah.
it didn't. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's okay. It's, there's a lot, but there's
You
a
own
lot.
it?
No, I'm going to get it.
Is it?
There's a lot of good 2D fighters on the Saturn. Loads.
So it's a Street
many.
Fighter 2 clone.
No, it actually feels more like an SNK game.
Oh,
like,
right, okay, fair enough.
one of those like Samurai Showdown
Yeah, because
type
it's
games.
weapons based.
All right, yeah, that's good.
So he's got his sword and your axe, but
Yeah,
it's a pretty good looking game. But yeah, I've been meaning to get hold of it.
yeah, and it also does that kind of Samurai Showdown thing where the characters get bigger or smaller depending how far away you are.
you kind of
I
zooms
love that
in.
effect
Yeah.
graphically.
I don't know. I used to get a bit tired of that sometimes. Does it do it in Fatal Fury?
Maybe.
I'm sure it does.
Fatal Fury,
It
you jump into
zooms
the
in and out.
background,
And
can't you?
yes, yeah. But that can get a bit tiresome. There's constant zooming in and out. But yeah.
Yeah, and
Me don't like no constant zooming in the camera.
I mean, this basically got a mediocre reception because, I mean, think about when it came out, 1994, 1995. It comes out just before Virtua Fighter and X-Men Children of the Atom.
People
Yeah,
were
that's,
doing...
then that's what I mean. That came out on the Saturn. It's fantastic, and this Golden Axe, the Duel, just paled in comparison.
People were doing, Virtua Fighter and a whole kind of raft of 3D
Yeah,
games. Was
yeah, it was
coming,
probably
so
a bit old hat even then.
That's what people were looking at in them days. I was one of
Yeah,
those.
it's a bit old hat, isn't it?
Old hat or old axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think by this time the franchise was getting a bit stale.
It was getting
Yeah.
the axe was getting a bit blunt.
Flogged.
Yeah.
Dragged.
And so you have to wait basically about 13 years I've got here for the next Golden Axe game. Comes out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And that is Golden Axe Beast Rider.
Yeah, I've not played it, but I've seen it. This didn't have good reviews either, did it?
No, it's kind of first person. Are you Tyrus Flare?
No, it's third person, but yeah, it's a 3D
Oh yeah.
beat 'em up. Yeah, I think you're Tyrus Flare and she rides beasts. It's the
Family
title.
podcast. Keith,
Family
please.
podcast, guys.
What?
Come on now.
She does.
Yeah.
But no, what were they thinking? What? So
Well-
13 years after. Okay, I suppose. Yeah, okay. What are they
It's
thinking, man?
intellectual property. You always got to kind of keep that thing going.
There was
It's got
one
name
prior to
recognition.
that. It was on. I think it was a PlayStation 2. It was one of these Sega collections, and instead of just porting the arcade games or the original games, they tweaked them. And the Golden Axe one, it's like completely remade. It's sort of a 2.5D scrolling beat 'em up.
Ooh.
I might be remembering this wrong, but I think it's made by like Sega Australia or something.
Oh, can we find this and deride it?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like piss poor. There's the swear. Sorry,
There it is.
there's the one swear per podcast. I'll put a penny in a swear
Penny in the jar.
because I'm tight. Yeah. Carry on.
And yeah, I think that was pretty much end of the line for Golden Axe as like kind of a major property. I mean,
Sad.
can we see it making a return?
Well,
No,
4 words for you: Streets of Rage 4.
which
Yeah.
is not Golden Axe, but yeah.
But I think similar nostalgia.
Gilius is hanging around though. He pops up from time to time.
in things.
In things, yeah. So he kind of represents Golden Axe in Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. He's in that. He's in. I can't remember which Sonic sports game it is, but there's a tennis one
How
that I haven't
surreal.
played. There's a Sega. It's like Sega.
Does he?
So he always comes on
When he-
Sega.
Sega Superstars Tennis
Yeah.
or something.
When he plays
and he's
tennis,
in one of
does he
those.
use axe as a
I
racket.
don't know. I haven't played it.
Is he the only Golden Axe character with any kind of charisma?
Death
Maybe.
Adder's got a bit of charisma.
Ooh, we could bring Death Adder back in a Sonic racing game or a Sonic tennis game
Why
playing as
not?
Death Adder.
Like an 8'2" person's going to fit in one of those cars.
Yeah, that could be quite funny. That
He is the
Simpsons
car.
How about that Simpsons episode where that guy comes out with a little car? Do you remember?
Yeah. He's got like bunched up.
Do you find my appearance comical?
Yeah. No, I think Golden Axe is done.
No, Dill. No, seriously,
even
come on.
even like in a post Game of Thrones age, you don't think
Yeah,
that IP is recoverable? Do you think actually?
I think loads of other guys have done that kind of era better now, isn't it? Look
There's
how many
so many. If you
franchises
want to
there are
live
now.
like your Game of Thrones fantasies, you can play Skyrim
God,
or something.
Witcher
couldn't
and all
you?
them other
yeah,
ones,
exactly.
and you don't need Golden Axe.
There's a lot of fantasy stuff. That,
Whereas Rise of the Robots,
Nah.
no,
No, look.
still not selling you on that.
You know, Streets of Rage 4, that's enticing me. I think, why can't they do a similar thing with Golden Axe?
I think
Refresh
maybe
it.
there's an argument to be made that kind of genre is a bit dead now. Side-scrolling beat 'em ups.
Side-scrolling beaties.
It's sad to admit, but I think he's probably right. We're just going to have to carry on enjoying the classics.
They could make a new sort of genre with the characters, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe a
VR?
a kart racing game with all of the characters.
Golden Axe VR. I mean, we asked this
Be like,
question. every
it'd be like
podcast.
BC Racers, the Chuck Rock kart racing game.
Oh yeah, could do the Golden Axe racing. Oh, my face thinking about it. Oh god.
Or maybe
I mean,
Oh, there could be
car,
dragons.
yeah, instead of a car, you ride on the back of chicken legs.
Beast Riders. Golden Axe Beast Riders, couldn't you call it?
Well, that's
This
what,
is still not
But
selling
that's
me.
what Golden Axe Beast Rider was called.
Oh, all right, Beast Racers then.
But we're trying to inject some originality into it.
All the Final Fantasy
Oh,
fans
the
at home are
Chocobo
talking
racing.
about Chocobo
Yeah.
racing.
Oh, I've
You're
got one.
basically just going to rip off Chocobo racing.
I've got one. They go into a time portal and team up with the Streets of Rage crew.
Yes. Yes.
So you've got like two different styles, but in the Streets of Rage world.
I guess, but I'm.
All the Streets of Rage guys have to go back to medieval times.
Yeah, that would actually make more sense because if Axe Battler was using his broadsword, he'd basically be killing street thugs with like one shot.
That would be
That would be
amazing. Can someone do a mod of Streets of Rage where you can just play as Axe Battler, please, and then we'll play
We've
that.
asked quite a few of our few things to do.
Yeah, well,
Get
yeah,
on
there,
it,
there are
guys.
guys out there who have got time to do this kind of stuff, so do it. Please. Do it. Please.
And then make the kart racing game on the side as well, just for fun.
Yeah, Golden Axe Kart Racer.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get in touch regarding this week's episode or anything else, you can tweet us at Arcade Attack UK, at Keith Barlow82, and at Arcade_Adriano. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Arcade Attack UK. Please check out our website at arcadeattack.co.uk for lots of retro gaming goodness, interviews, reviews, features, top 10s, etc. And you can also find all our previous podcasts there. Our podcasts are available to stream from the website and are available to download for free from Stitcher, Podbean and iTunes, where you can also leave us a review and a rating, which we would really, really appreciate. So, until next time, take care and we'll speak to you soon.